Okay, good afternoon. Thank you, Cameron. Thank you also for this short introduction that enables us to double the audience, as you can notice. So it's very good. So, well, my name is Rui Pedro Julião, as Cameron tried to say, but I understand him. It's quite difficult for a non-English an English person to do it. And I'm talking about some examples of spatial data infrastructure in Portugal. And I come from the University of Lisbon, from the new University of Lisbon, Department of Regional for Geography and Regional Planning. And whoops, was over there? Yeah. Okay. Sorry, shut you. And here I am again talking about Portugal, one of the largest nations of Europe, although most of it is sea. But we'll start also talking about some SDIs regarding the maritime environment, and then, of course, this is a real large country. But I will try to talk about what have we been doing in Portugal for the from the last years. Basically, what has happened in Portugal since the last years, and Portugal is one of the countries that since a long time has invested a lot in geographic information technologies, and also in SDIs. And what we have seen is that we are clearly moving from an environment where the local perspective was really important, local in terms of individual perspective regarding data, regarding systems, regarding GIS, to a more diffuse and clearly moving towards an SDI environment. An SDI environment where some of the issues were already raised this morning, where you really need, at the bottom end, quality, availability and accessibility to data. But then you have to manage, you have to steer, you have to establish a governance model to where suppliers, users, research institutions can work together in order to provide that quality, available and accessible data. And that's what has been doing in Portugal, has been happening in Portugal. And we are clearly moving from an environment where in the past you try to integrate data and you get a more or less not really accurate or overlapping of different data teams, because some of them were missing, because some of the segmentation was not clearly done, into a much more integrated environment where mainly through the existence of providers that are delivering the data through web services, you can really get one picture of a country and not, let's say, different overlapping picture like a broken TV where you see the image with a lot of other image behind it. So that is clear what is happening now in Portugal, and my idea was to bring you some of the stories. Of course, bring you some of the stories, as always, has to start from the SNIG. SNIG is the spatial data, national spatial data infrastructure of Portugal. Is one of the is in fact the oldest spatial data infrastructure in Europe and around. It was established by a law in 1990, so it is 22 to almost 23 years old. Sorry. And basically along the history, and some of them, if you were in the previous session, in one of the rooms, you saw this timeline where everything is documented, and then you can see that from a working group that was established in 1986 to create the guidelines and to set up the spatial data infrastructure. And till today, you see that a lot of things has been happening. And we can still say that SNIG has enabled, especially through the work of this organization, CNIG, and later through the work of IGP since 2002, SNIG has created really an environment for SDI development in Portugal. In that environment, that of course you have the main portal of the national spatial data infrastructure, and that environment has created the opportunity for others to work. And the main idea is that was to establish a supportive environment for local, regional authorities and also other national authorities to develop their own projects and to contribute to the enlargement of the national spatial data infrastructures. What I bring you to here are just a few examples. They are just samples, like illustrations of some of the work that is being done. They are some national, regional, local examples, and in fact some of them are not truly SDI. If you look to a formal definition of a spatial data infrastructure, if some of them are not truly SDI projects yet, and I stress yet, because this is the building blocks to later they can become really SDI projects. So starting from national examples, one of them is a project that is developed by the Ministry of Environment. Now, in fact, is quite a large ministry because it's Ministry of Agriculture, Environment and Spatial Planning. So, Agriculture, Environment and Spatial Planning, one ministry that deals with everything. And one of the examples is this project that is called Spatial. It's a project that is very interesting because it enables the integration of a set of services from different organizations, from the Ministry of Environment and other agencies that are related with coastal area management. So especially to do the monitorization of urban settlements along the coastline of Portugal. This is one of the very interesting examples that is already open and providing web service that you can now integrate on your projects. Another one is a project that is steered by the Spatial Planning Authority of Portugal, that is SNIG. That is a project where you can find all the plans, all the spatial plans that are developed by municipalities and also by regional authorities. So the archive of those plans is here, and it is already available in some cases through web services that are documented according to the standards and also to the INSPIRE regulation. Another example is the National System for Environmental Data that started to be a system that basically provided data, not spatial data, but now, since last year, it has been upgraded into a through SDI environment, providing catalog services, visualization services, downloading services. So everything is okay in terms of conformity with INSPIRE. But this is talking about the national level. But there is much more underneath the national level, and we are in a session that is not taking care of national level. But sorry, just to end with national level, this is another image of the SNIG, the System for Environment. And sorry, try to. I think those guys there are going to be completely destroyed by the end of the afternoon. Another example regarding the national level, and it's the last one regarding the national level. This one is still in the paper, but truly is the national system that has been foreseen for cadastral information. And in fact, it was built to create a system for managing the cadastral data. But the idea of this system, now I think I can. But now the idea of the system was built on top of the concept of the spatial data infrastructure, where each agency that has there's the responsibility to manage a set of the cadastral data, for instance, the tax office, the land registry, and the IGP, and also the municipalities. All of them are connected. And I lost my screen. And the other ones are, sorry, but okay. And the other ones are connected through web services. Regarding regional projects, there are a lot of examples of regional projects that now are being developed. The last one that was presented just 2 weeks ago was the spatial data infrastructure of Algarve. It is formally the first regional spatial data infrastructure of the mainland of Portugal. We had, of course, the other two, one from Azores, regional Azores, in Madeira. And we had also some examples of regional projects regarding the availability and management, for instance, of the watershed areas, like this one, also from the Algarve, where some data is available. This is the supportive environment that has been the result of the work from IGP has created this environment that enables those organizations to start to come up with their projects and delivering results in the framework of a spatial data infrastructure. And also local authorities, they are starting to build, they are starting to, let's say, open their own GIS, because since in Portugal there is a trend for being early adopter in technologies, most of our municipalities, and we have 308 municipalities, have early started to use GIS as their own tool for managing spatial plans, for managing urbanizations. And now they are starting to provide also open environments for the citizens, and also to integrate data from other organizations. So the idea of the municipalities now is to make their data available through the standards. And in fact, if we consider that we are talking about spatial data infrastructures, of course, let's say the bottom level is the most important level, because it is closer to the territory, so it's easier. For the bottom level, if everything starts well here, it's easy to aggregate at the more distant levels and more general levels. So final remarks, and just two shots, is that the environment that was created, enabled, and the environment was created by the strategy of developing SNIG, has enabled those several projects to emerge. And of course, one of the things that we have been doing in SNIG is, from the start, of course, there was no INSPIRE. From the start, of course, there was no EDEE, the Spanish National Data Infrastructure. But since a long time ago, we have been closely working with the Spanish neighbors, and of course in the context of INSPIRE. And this will enable those projects to feed to a European level, and at the same time to receive the contributions from the European level, integrate the data. Final remarks, you can see that the dynamic of the projects, and you can see also that from the monitoring report that is going to present later today by a colleague of IGP, there will be an increasing dynamic that we can see. Talking about geography and thematic coverage, so the set of teams that are covered by these projects are increasing, the special coverage also. There is also a trend to use open contributions, be it in the technology side, using the FOSS4GIO software, or being also regarding contents. And there is a big fight between those technical, more traditional terms and the ones that are using much more focus on the importance of volunteer geographic information, or crowdsourcing, as you wish to say. So one of the things that has to be done, and it clearly has to be done, is that there are still a lot of investments and projects that are being started with some lack of coordination. And maybe some coordination is needed in order to, for instance, to better consolidate and also take some profitability of the investment that is being done. Some components can be used in other projects and not need to develop in a second project, in a second local authority. They don't need to develop the same component from scratch. So that's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Rui, and thank you for your timing, which was excellent. I should apologise to the speakers that I was not abandoning them when I went into the body of the hall. It's just that the acoustics are not very good, and I find it very difficult at this angle to hear the speaker, so being able to hear the speaker I could in the hall. It was a lot worse in the main hall this morning, I have to tell you. So a very clear presentation of the situation in Portugal. And I think the thing that impressed me about the story was the length of time it has taken. So since 1990 you have been involved in your SNIG, I think it is. You have good acronyms. You have SNIG and SNITs and Synergies and so on. But I think that perhaps the main lesson for me from your presentation was that you were clear that you started out with local activity. That was then consolidated into a national SDI. But now that you have the national SDI, you have a framework where the regions and the municipalities can start to develop their own individual elements of the national SDI. Is that fair to say?
Okay. Well, in some sense, yes, it's fair to say that, but till now, most of the effort has been done by the national level. It has put a lot of effort and investment in trying to create this environment that now is starting to enable regional and local authorities to come up with projects that are not just traditional GIS projects for their own needs, but that at the same time are contributing to the enrichment. Can I say that? Yeah. Enrichment of the national spatial data infrastructure. So, because clearly, and that was a strong belief that nothing can be done without the local authorities. Nothing regarding spatial data can be done without with the participation, the involvement or let's say the engagement of the local authorities, at least in Portugal.
Okay. Thank you, and I have many follow-up questions about how we promote the municipalities to contribute to the national picture. But please, I need to open some questions from the audience. Okay, we do not have a question. While you are thinking, perhaps then I can follow up with that question, which is that it's clear that the local data can enrich the national SDI. How do we convince the municipality, the small municipality, to mobilize their data meeting our national standards?
Well, not all the answers can be given here, but in fact you can always invite the mayor to go out for dinner and try to and that's one of the ways. But what we try to do is try to start from with the people that work at the technical side. First, and they were the ones that really adopted, and they are the ones that really are pushing forward the need for their own organizations to open up and to start collaborating at this level. And that has been done not only by let's say the official authorities, but also, for instance, by the national users of Geographic Information Association, that since 1991 has regularly been promoting a national GIS user conference where these issues have been discussed. So let's say that you have two lines that are, let's say, merging into one trend that is trying to engage local authorities to participate more and more. And there were also some money available, and that makes it easier, of course.
The money always helps. Are there any questions from the floor? Okay.